You're tired. You're hurting. Life hit you with a blow you didn't see coming. You gave your all and still fell short. But I came to tell you something that might just change your life. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation. You thought the pain was meant to break you? Nah, that pain is molding you. That pain is building the version of you that you need to become. You gotta stop running from it. You gotta stop complaining about it. You gotta learn how to embrace it. Sit with it. Cry if you have to. But don't you dare quit. Listen to me. Every great man or woman who ever achieved something legendary had to suffer through something heavy. Pain is the gatekeeper to greatness. You want to be strong? Then go through something. You want to be respected? Then overcome something. You want to inspire others? Then survive something. I was homeless. I was fatherless. I was broken. But instead of letting that kill me, I used it. I didn't have food, so I learned how to hunger for my dreams. I didn't have a bed, so I laid down on my faith. I didn't have money, but I had a vision. And I turned my pain into fuel, into fire, into power. Stop asking why me and start asking, what can this teach me? Stop focusing on what happened and start focusing on what happened. Stop using pain as an excuse and start using it as a weapon. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need support. You don't need everyone to believe in you. What you need is already in you. You just gotta activate it through pain. Your power is buried in your lowest moments. Dig deep, get back up, fight through, rise. You don't have time to be bitter. You don't have time to be angry. Your pain is a platform. Your scars are symbols of survival. That heartbreak, use it. That rejection, use it. That loss, use it. Don't die with your story inside of you. Don't let your pain be wasted. Make it pay rent, make it produce something, make it power. Because at the end of the day, pain will either push you into purpose or pull you into pity. And you get to choose. Pain is a teacher. It's not a punishment, not a curse, and definitely not something designed to destroy you. It's here to build you, to shape you, to force you to rise. Most people run from pain. They see it as something to avoid, something to numb, something to escape. But the truth is, pain is the one thing in life that introduces you to the real version of yourself. It doesn't lie to you. It strips away all the masks, all the fluff, all the illusions, and what's left is raw, real, and honest. You can't hide in pain. You either confront it or it consumes you. When life hits you hard, and it's not to crush you, but to prepare you. Every champion, every warrior, every legend had to go through some kind of pain before they stepped into power. They didn't just wake up powerful. They were broken first. They were bent. They were doubted. They were ignored. But pain stepped in as the teacher and said, if you can survive this, you'll be unstoppable. Pain isn't something you avoid. It's something you respect. It will come for everyone, no exception. The only difference is how you respond to it. You have to shift your mindset. You've been taught that pain is bad, that suffering means something's wrong. But what if pain is just the resistance needed to make you stronger? What if every tear, every heartbreak, every betrayal is just adding layers to your strength? Steel is forged in fire, not in comfort. Muscles grow from resistance, not rest. Diamonds are formed under pressure, not peace. The same applies to you. If you never faced adversity, how would you know you can handle it? If you never felt broken, how would you understand the power of healing? People often ask why life has to hurt so much. The truth is, pain gives you perspective. It makes you appreciate peace. It humbles you. It grounds you. When you've had your heart shattered, when you've been left alone, when you've hit rock bottom, you stop taking little things for granted. You value connection. You treasure growth. You no longer chase applause. You chase purpose. You chase purpose. Pain clears out the noise and forces you to focus on what really matters. It makes you reevaluate who you are, what you believe, and how bad you really want it. There's a version of you inside that can only be accessed through discomfort. You won't meet that version when everything's easy. That version shows up when life knocks you to the floor and you got nothing left but a decision to stay down or to rise again. Pain introduces you to your limits and then asks if you're willing to break past them. Most people fold. Most people let the pain define them. But you can choose to let it refine you instead. You have to stop seeing pain as your enemy. It's not trying to destroy you. It's pushing you. It's stretching you. It's demanding more of you. That pain you feel is proof that you're still alive, still fighting, still growing. Numbness is the real danger. When you feel nothing, you lose your edge. But when pain hits, you're awake. And when you're awake, you can move, you can shift, you can transform. Think about the most powerful people you admire. Look at their stories. It's not success that built them. It's struggle. It's struggle. The late nights, the doubt, the fear, the failure, that's what carved them. That's what made them real. You see the glory, but you didn't witness the grind. Pain has a way of making you focus. It eliminates distractions. It forces you to ask, how bad do I want this? You'll never tap into your deepest power until you walk through your deepest pain. And when you finally get through it, when you look back and realize that the thing that once broke you actually built you, you'll understand that pain was never against you. It was always working for you. It was always working for you. You just couldn't see it in the moment. Pain teaches you how to survive, how to adapt, how to trust your inner strength when nothing else is stable. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you resilience. It gives you the type of confidence that can't be faked because you've been through something. The next time pain shows up, don't curse it. Don't run. Don't panic. Breathe. Sit with it. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? Because every painful moment carries a lesson, and inside that lesson is a key to a new level of strength you didn't know you had. Pain is trying to wake you up. Let it. Pain is trying to build you up. Let it. The moment you stop fearing pain and start learning from it, that's when everything changes. That's when your pain becomes power. Don't let your pain go to waste. Too many people go through struggle, heartbreak, disappointment, and loss, and then let those moments pass without pulling anything out of them. They cry, they break, they shut down, and then they move on empty. That's not growth, that's survival. You weren't meant to just survive pain. You were meant to use it. Pain has power in it, but only if you refuse to waste it. If you're gonna hurt, make it count. Let that pain become fuel. Let it push you, sharpen you, and give you a new edge. Let it become the very reason you go harder than anyone else. Let it light a fire in you that comfort never could. Most people run from pain, but pain is one of the most valuable resources you'll ever experience if you know how to channel it. That betrayal you felt, that rejection, that loss, it's not just something you're supposed to forget. It's something you're supposed to transform. You gotta take it and build with it, turn it into motivation, turn it into discipline, turn it into something useful. When you use it, you win. But when you waste it, you stay stuck in the same place. You keep reliving the pain, replaying the memory, but never actually growing from it. Every great story of success starts with struggle. Behind every champion is a chapter of pain. They didn't just get there because they were lucky. They got there because they knew how to use what hurt them. They learned how to convert their pain into power. They didn't pretend they were okay. They didn't deny their pain. They embraced it. They sat in it. They asked, how can I grow from this? They made pain their partner in progress, not their enemy. That's the mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need everything to be perfect in order to start building something powerful. In fact, some of the most powerful things in life are built out of broken pieces. Your pain can become your platform if you choose to stand on it instead of being buried by it. The worst moments in your life have the potential to bring out the best in you. But that only happens when you stop playing victim and start taking control. Stop asking why it happened and start asking what you're going to do with it now that it has. Pain can make you bitter or it can make you better. It's all about what you do with it. Are you going to let it sit inside of you, grow into resentment and steal your energy? Or are you going to turn it into a reason to rise? You've already gone through it. It already cost you something. Don't let it cost you your future too. Make it pay rent. Make it produce something valuable. Use it to build a new mindset, a new hustle, a new reason to keep going when things get hard again. That's what winners do. They find a way to use every part of the process, even the painful ones. You were not created to live your life in defeat. Yes, you've been hit. Yes, you've been wounded. But that doesn't mean you're done. That means you got a story now. You've got something real, something you can use. The world needs people who have gone through something and came out stronger, wiser, more focused. You can be that person, but only if you choose to turn your pain into something. You can't keep sitting in it hoping it'll go away. You have to stand up and move. You have to take action even if it's small steps. You have to decide that this moment of pain will not be the end of your journey, but the beginning of your transformation. It's not easy. Nobody said it would be. But easy doesn't create strength. Easy doesn't build character. Pain gives you the raw material, but you've got to do the work. You've got to wake up every day and decide that your past will not define, that your scars will not silence you, that your trauma will not trap you. Instead, let all of it become a part of your power. Let every painful experience add weight to your purpose. Let it remind you of how far you've come and how much further you're capable of going. Pain has the power to shift your entire identity. It can show you what matters. It can show you who you are and what you believe in when everything else is falling apart. But if you don't use it, it fades. It becomes another memory, another missed opportunity to rise. Use the pain to train. Use it to focus. Use it to deepen your commitment. Use it to cut off distraction and false priorities. Use it to separate yourself from average. People who don't use their pain stay soft. People who don't use their pain give up when it gets their pain, give up when it gets hard again. You have the chance to be different. You've been through enough. You've cried enough. You've sacrificed enough. Now it's time to make it count. Don't waste what hurts you. Don't walk away from your pain empty-handed. Squeeze every ounce of wisdom, discipline, and drive out of it. Turn your pain into power, not just for you, but for everyone watching you, depending on you, inspired by you. You already paid the price. Now collect the reward. Your story is your strength. The things you've been through, the struggles you face, the setbacks you survived, those aren't weaknesses. They're not marks of failure. They're the very things that qualify you to inspire, to lead, to rise. Too many people try to hide their past, pretend they've always had it together, cover up the pain, the mistakes, the chaos. But what they don't realize is that the story that they're trying to erase is the same story that can connect them to others, fuel their mission, and give real meaning to their life. You don't have to be ashamed of your struggle. You have to own it. Because that's where your real strength lies. Nobody connects with perfection. People connect with pain. They connect with transparency. They connect with honesty. You being real about what you've been through might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear to believe they can make it through what they're facing. But that only happens when you stop seeing your story as something to be embarrassed by and start seeing it as something powerful. That moment you wanted to quit but didn't. That time you were betrayed and still forgave. That season where you were lost but kept going. That's power. That's courage. That's growth. You gotta understand that what you've overcome is part of your purpose. You didn't survive all that just to go back to living small. You didn't make it through the fire just to hide your flame. You are still here for a reason. And part of that reason is to use your story to bring light to someone else's darkness. The things you went through weren't in vain. They were setting you up. They were building your voice, your perspective, your grit. They were teaching you lessons that no textbook or mentor could teach. Life trained you through experience. And that kind of training doesn't go to waste when you choose to rise with it. You don't need anyone else to validate your story. You don't need applause, permission, or approval. What you've lived through is real. And if it mattered enough to hurt you, it matters enough to help someone else. You are not broken. You're built. You're built. Every scar you carry is a sign that you didn't give up. Every time life tried to bury you, you grew stronger instead. That's the kind of story people need to hear. That's the kind of power the world is missing. But too many people keep quiet because they're scared of being judged. They're scared of looking weak. But real strength isn't in hiding what you've been through. It's in owning it, standing on it, and turning it into something that builds others up. Think about the people who've impacted your life the most. Were they perfect? No, they were real. They told the truth. They spoke from their gut. They weren't trying to impress anyone. They were trying to impact someone. That's what you're here for too. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to live anyone else's story. You just need to be bold enough to own yours. Every setback, every loss, every painful lesson, it all adds weight to your voice. It all adds depth to your character. It makes you more than just another motivational quote or empty phrase. It makes you someone who knows what the fight feels like. Your story doesn't have to be dramatic to be powerful. Maybe you weren't homeless. Maybe you didn't lose everything. But if you've ever been overlooked, doubted, pushed aside, hurt, or ignored, and still kept going, you've got something powerful to offer. If you've ever dealt with inner demons, self-doubt, fear, anxiety, and still showed up anyway, then you're stronger than you think. Your power isn't in the size of your story. It's in your willingness to share it, and honestly, with heart, with courage. And here's the truth. When you hide your story, you hide your strength. When you pretend to be someone you're not, you rob yourself of your authenticity. And authenticity is your superpower. It's what separates you from the noise. People are tired of fake. They're tired of filters. They want truth. They want proof that it's possible to go through hell and come out stronger. That's what you are. You're proof. You're evidence that survival's possible. That healing is real. That power is on the other side of pain. So speak your truth. Not for attention, not for sympathy, but because your voice can unlock someone else's freedom. Your story has weight. It has fire. It has purpose. It didn't break you. It made you. And now it's time to use it. Not just for you, but for the people who need to hear that pain. Doesn't have to be the end. That struggle doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you. That your past doesn't discredit you. It empowers you. You come too far to stay silent. You survive too much to stay small. Let your story rise. Let it speak. Let it become your strength. Excuses kill power. Every time you make an excuse, you're handing your strength away. You're saying, this reason is bigger than my potential. This setback is more important than my future. And that mindset will always keep you stuck. People who are committed to grow don't make excuses. They make adjustments. They find a way even when everything around them says, there is no way. They refuse to let obstacles become permanent. They might get knocked down, but they never stay down because they understand that power comes from responsibility. If you want to own your power, you have to own your decision. And that means cutting off every excuse that keeps you comfortable but powerless. Excuses are comforting because they take the pressure off. It feels easier to blame your past, your environment, your circumstances. It feels easier to say, I didn't have support, or I didn't get the chance, or they didn't believe in me. But here's the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody owes you belief. Nobody owes you a perfect shot. If you want it, you have to go get it. Excuses will keep you warm, but they'll never get you where you want to go. They'll lull you into a sleep where your dreams die slowly while you're wide awake. There's always going to be something in your way. Time, money, fear, doubt, people, pain. That's not the issue. The issue is whether or not you're going to rise above it. Because the difference between the people who do and the people who don't is simple. Winners don't allow excuses to grow roots. They acknowledge the challenge and then move anyway. They feel the fear and act anyway. They fail and try again anyway. That's what separates those who grow from those who shrink. When you tell yourself you can't because of this or that, you're building a wall around your potential. You're telling your mind to settle. You're giving up your ability to adapt, create, and fight. Excuses feed weakness. They disguise themselves as logic and self-protection, but all they really do is steal momentum. Every time you say, I would but, you're giving your power away. You're letting the pain speak louder than your purpose. You're letting doubt speak louder than discipline. If you keep choosing excuses, your life will stay exactly where it is. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, how big your dreams are, or how much you want it. Excuses are like poison. They slowly kill every bit of fire inside of you. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision, a real one. A commitment that says, I'm done letting things outside of me control what's inside of me. When you stop making excuses, you start making progress. It might be slow, it might be messy, but it's real. And real growth only happens when you stop explaining away your lack of effort and start pouring everything into what you can control. Most of the people you admire didn't have ideal circumstances. They weren't born with a silver spoon or surrounded by endless support. What they had was a refusal to make excuses. They chose grit over comfort. They chose discipline over drama. They chose action over pity. That's how you win. That's how you break generational curses. That's how you shift your entire identity, not by blaming, not by waiting, but by owning your part and doing something about it. You may not be responsible for everything that's happened to you, but you are responsible for how you respond. That's where your power is. Life's not fair. It never has been. But power isn't given, it's taken. You take it when you look in the mirror and say, oh, no more excuses. No more blaming. I'm going to build, even with broken pieces. I'm going to grow even in the dark. I'm going to rise, even when it hurts. Excuses will always feel justified. They'll feel logical, reasonable, fair. But growth doesn't care about fairness. Growth responds to effort, to consistency, to honesty. You can't lie to yourself and still expect to level up. Be honest. Are your excuses helping you? Are they making you better? Or are they just keeping you safe, small, and stagnant? You can't be both powerful and full of excuses. You have to choose. Every day you wake up with a choice to believe the lies your fear tells you or to challenge them with faith and action. And if you're tired of being stuck, tired of being overlooked, tired of feeling like you're meant for more but not moving, look at your excuses. Break them down. Replace them with decisions, with effort, with action. You have more in you, but you'll never access it if you keep explaining why you're not there yet instead of doing what it takes to get there. Your future doesn't need your excuses. It needs your effort. Your family doesn't need your excuses. They need your example. Your dreams don't need your reasons. They need your results. It's time to stop giving your power away. Own your life. Own your story. And get up and go after what's yours with no excuses. Resilience isn't built in moments of ease. It's forged in the middle of chaos, pain, and uncertainty. You don't discover how strong you are when everything is going your way. You find your real strength when nothing is going right, and you still choose to move forward. Resilience is what's formed when you're knocked down 10 times and get up 11. It's the decision to keep showing up, to keep grinding, even when your heart is broken, your energy is drained, and your circumstances are screaming at you to quit. That's when you find out what you're made of. That's when your character takes shape, not in comfort, but in crisis. Life's going to test you. It's going to throw pain your way, not to destroy you, but to see if you're serious about who you say you want to become. Anyone can talk about success when things are easy. Anyone can be motivated when the sun is shining and the road is smooth. But real power comes from being able to keep going in the storm. Real power is found in your ability to suffer and still choose discipline, still choose movement. When you go through fire, you have two choices. You either let it burn you up, or you let it burn away everything that was holding you back. That's what resilience does. It doesn't just help you survive the pain, it helps you use it. It teaches you to see setbacks as setups, to see opposition as opportunity. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this making me? Because every hard moment has the potential to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, more focused, if you let it. Resilience means you stop waiting for the pain to pass before you show up. You learn to show up with the pain. You stop needing perfect condition. You stop waiting for the right time. You learn to grind through the heartbreak, through the fear, through the uncertainty. And every time you do, you get a little stronger. Every time you choose not to quit, you build another layer of toughness, another layer of mental strength. That's how warriors are made, not by avoiding battle, but by walking through it again and again and still standing tall. There's going to be days when you don't feel like doing anything. Days when everything in you says to stay down, give up, this is too hard. And those are the days that count the most. Those are the days where resilience is either born or broken. And you have to make a decision, not based on how you feel, but based on what you committed to. Your emotions are temporary. Your mission is permanent. Your job is to keep moving forward, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. That's what separates the great from the average. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who push through the struggle with relentless determination. Pain is part of the process. That's the truth. Nobody becomes strong by skipping pain. Nobody becomes disciplined by avoiding hardship. You've got to go through some things. You've got to be broken sometime. But resilience is what allows you to pick up those broken pieces and start building again. It's what allows you to lose everything and still find a reason to believe. It's the difference between quitting and climbing, between falling apart and coming back stronger. You are going to be tested. You are going to be challenged. But that's not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a transformation. Resilience transforms weakness into strength, fear into courage, loss into wisdom. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's not about faking strength. It's about being real, being honest, and still choosing to rise every time life knocks you down. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. That's what resilience is. It's not about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. And the more you rise, the more unstoppable you become. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes fuel. Every moment of pain becomes a brick in the foundation of your strength. When you look back one day, it won't be the easy times that define you. It will be the moments you were hurting, exhausted, unsure, but kept going anyway. Those will be the moments you're proud of. The moments you'll point to and say, that's when I became who I was meant to be. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not when everyone was clapping, but when no one was watching. That's where resilience is born. That's where greatness begins. So don't run from the pain, don't curse the fire. Use it, let it make you, let it teach you, let it build you. Because every time you push through what you thought would break you, you prove to yourself and to the world that you are stronger than your circumstances, bigger than your excuses, and more powerful than your pain. Emotion is powerful, it's energy, it's fuel. It can either light your fire or burn you down. Most people try to suppress it, hide it, or act like it doesn't matter. But your emotions are part of who you are, and if you learn how to channel, they can become one of the greatest sources of strength in your life. Pain, frustration, anger, sadness, disappointment, those emotions don't have to hold you back. You can use them. You can convert them into discipline, into drive, into determination. Emotions don't have to derail your progress. They can actually propel it if you choose to direct them. People often assume that emotions make you weak, that if you're emotional, you're fragile. But the truth is, emotion is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. Wars have been started from emotion. Revolutions have been sparked from anger. Great inventions, breakthroughs, movements, all born from intense emotion. The problem isn't the emotion itself. The problem is when you let your emotions control your actions instead of guiding them. You can't be driven by emotion in a reckless way, but you can absolutely be fueled by it. When life hits you with something that hurts, you have a choice. You can either let that emotion paralyze you, or you can let it push you. If someone betrayed you, take that pain and channel it. If you feel overlooked, rejected, underestimated, good. Let that frustration fuel your work ethic. Let it remind you of who you are. Let it wake up your fight. Use that emotion to focus, to level up, to shut out distractions and lock in on your goals, not for revenge, but for elevation. Let the pain remind you of your purpose. Emotion gives you a reason, a why. You need a reason to get up when you're tired, a reason to keep going when it feels like nothing is working. That reason is emotional. It comes from your gut. It comes from your heart. That's what makes it powerful. Logic will talk you out of it. Emotion will push you through. True. But only if you control it, not the other way around. You've got to take that energy and funnel it into something productive. Let it drive your discipline, not your destruction. You might be angry about where you are right now in life. Good. Let that anger move you. Let it push you to change. You might be heartbroken about what you lost. Then let that pain give birth to a new version of you. One that doesn't rely on perfect circumstances to rise. One that doesn't need a cheering section to keep going. You gotta stop trying to bury your emotions and start building with them. Turn your frustration into fuel. Turn your sadness into focus. Turn your pain into power. You gotta be real with yourself, don't fake it. Don't pretend you don't feel what you feel. That's not strength, that's avoidance. Strength is looking your emotions in the face and saying, I see you, but you don't control me. You're coming with me and we're gonna build something. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become unstoppable. When you stop running from emotion and start commanding it. Think about the moments in your life that changed you. They weren't neutral. They were emotional. They moved you deeply. They either broke you or woke you. The goal is to let them wake you. Oh, let those experiences remind you of who you are, what you value, what you're chasing. That energy, that emotion is a gift. You just have to learn how to carry it without letting it carry you away. There are going to be days where you don't feel like it, where your emotions are heavy, where sadness or anger tries to anchor you down. That's okay. You don't have to pretend to be unshakable. You just have to decide that no matter how heavy the emotion gets, you're still moving forward. One step at a time, still showing up, still doing the work, still chasing the goal. That's where transformation happens. Not when you feel amazing, but when you feel everything and keep going anyway. They don't collapse under the weight of it. They carry it and they convert it. That's mastery, that's emotional power. Not control in the sense of hiding it, but control in the sense of using it. So whatever you're feeling, use it. Don't waste it. That pain, that fire, that ache inside you is not there to destroy you. It's there to be turned into something. A story, a drive, a discipline, a purpose. You don't have to numb it. You don't have to escape it. You just have to redirect it. And when you do, you'll find out that emotion isn't your weakness. It's one of your greatest strengths. Nobody is coming to rescue you. That's a hard truth. But once you understand it, it changes everything. You stop waiting. You stop hoping someone will show up and fix it all. You stop depending on people who were never meant to carry your weight. You stop praying for someone to hand you the answers. Because deep down, you realize that the responsibility to heal, to rise, to grow, to push, it's all yours. The moment you accept that, you take your power back. When you stop waiting for someone else to help you, you discover the strength you had inside all along. Life doesn't always give you what you need. Sometimes it gives you loss, betrayal, silence. You might not have had a supportive family. You might not have had friends who truly understood you. You might have been left to figure everything out on your own. That hurts. But that's also where you become dangerous. Because once you stop expecting others to save you, you become your own rescue plan. You stop leaning on people who keep letting you fall. You start building your foundation from the inside out. No one knows your pain like you do. No one understands your battles like you do. That's why no one else can fight them for you. They might care. They might encourage you. But they can't walk through your fire. That's yours to walk. And if you keep waiting for someone to carry you, you'll never learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. Growth comes from standing, even when your knees shake, even when you're scared, even when everything inside you wants to run. You stand, you fight through, you fight through it. And that's how you level up. Too many people waste years blaming others for where they are. Blaming their parents, their past, their environment. And yes, some of that pain is real. Some of it wasn't your fault. But healing is still your responsibility. Progress is still your job. The world doesn't slow down for your wounds. Life doesn't hit pause while you figure it out. So you got to decide, are you going to let what happened to you keep defining you? Or are you going to take what's left and build something strong? You're not helpless. You're not weak. You're not incapable. You've just forgotten who you are. You've forgotten that every scar on your body, every heartbreak you survived, every challenge you overcame is proof that you're still standing. That means you're stronger than you think. That means you got what it takes. Not because someone handed it to you, but because you've earned it. Through pain, through tears, through resilience. You're here, and that means you're not done. The truth is, people will let you down. People will walk away. They'll misunderstand you. They'll doubt you. And sometimes they won't be able to support you the way you need. That's not the end. That's the beginning of your ownership. Because once you stop depending on others to show you your worth, you start defining it for yourself. Once you stop looking outward for validation, you start finding your own voice. And that voice, your voice is enough. When you take full responsibility for your life, everything shifts. You stop giving your power away. You stop waiting for the perfect time, the right circumstances, the ideal support system. You start moving. You start creating. You start showing up. You don't wait for permission. You give yourself permission to rise, to heal, to grow, to become exactly who you were born to be. That doesn't mean you don't need people. It doesn't mean you shouldn't ask for help. But it does mean you don't rely on anyone to do the work for you. It means you understand that no one can want it for you more than you do. No one can grind for you. No one can show up for you every day. That's on you. And when you accept that, you become unstoppable because your strength no longer depends on anything or anyone outside of you. So if you're sitting there waiting for someone to call, to notice, to show up, it's time to stop. It's time to rise. Take the pain. Take the silence, take the rejection, and build with it. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not powerless. You've just been handing away your strength, hoping someone would give it back to you. But the truth is, it was never gone. It was just buried under all the fear, all the doubt, all the waiting. And now it's time to dig it out. No one is coming to heal you. You have to choose healing. No one is coming to build your dream. You have to chase it. No one is coming to carry your load. You have to lift it. And that's not something to mourn. That's something to celebrate. Because now you know. You don't have to wait. You don't have to beg. You don't have to hope someone comes and changes your life. You can change it right now with what you have. Stand up, speak up, show up, and do the work. Not because someone is watching, not because someone is coming, but because you are enough, because you are capable, and because your story isn't over. It's just getting started. Power comes from purpose. When you know why you're doing something, it changes how you do it. It changes how hard you work, how long you stay in the fight, how deeply you dig when things get tough. People who have a purpose can go through pain and still push forward. They can face rejection, setbacks, loneliness, and defeat, and still keep moving. But because there are whys greater than their wound, purpose gives pain meaning. It transforms it from something random into something refining. Without purpose, even small struggles feel overwhelming. But when you know your mission, you can carry heavy burdens with strength and focus. You're not just suffering, you're building. When you're living without purpose, life feels like a constant grind. You wake up, go through the motions, and wonder if any of it really matters. You get tired, burn out, distracted. You find yourself quitting things halfway, second guessing yourself, getting stuck in cycles. But when you find your purpose, something bigger than money, bigger than approval, bigger than comfort, everything shifts. You start moving with intention. You start waking up with fire. You stop giving up easily because now every move you make is part of a mission. And power shows up when your actions are aligned with your mission. Purpose gives you focus. It silences the noise. It doesn't eliminate the pain, but it puts it in perspective. You start asking better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You ask, how can I use this? Instead of feeling like a victim, you begin to act like a vessel. Every experience, every trial, every hurt becomes something you can use to fulfill your purpose. And that mindset of turning life into fuel for your mission is where your power begins to grow. You no longer fold under pressure because you understand pressure produces strength when directed toward purpose. People often ask how to stay motivated, how to stay committed, how to stay consistent. The answer is simple. Get a purpose that's bigger than your pain. You won't always be motivated. You won't always feel strong. But when your why is clear, you'll keep going even when you don't feel like it. Purpose is the anchor. It holds you down when life tries to drift you away. It reminds you who you are, why you started, and what you're building, even when the emotions aren't there. Your purpose doesn't have to be flashy or public. It might be raising your children with love, breaking a generational curse, proving to yourself that you're worth something, or using your story to help others survive theirs. Purpose is personal. And when it's real, it fuels you in a way that nothing else can. Money can't give you that fire. Recognition won't last, but purpose, it burns deep. It pushes you through sleepless nights, through lonely seasons, through hard days. Because when it's about something bigger than you, you stop quitting. Every time you get tired, you get tired. You keep going because people are depending on you, even if they don't know it yet. Power doesn't come from being perfect. It doesn't come from having it all figured out. It comes from knowing exactly why you're fighting. You might not know how everything will work out. You might not know the next step. But if you know why you're in the fight, that's enough to keep swinging. That's enough to keep showing up, even when you're scared. That's enough to get up off the ground after life has knocked you flat. When you don't have purpose, you settle. You settle for relationships that drain you. You settle for jobs that steal your soul. You settle for goals that don't challenge you, routines that don't grow you, and people who don't see you. But when you find your purpose, you raise your standard. You stop letting anyone or anything waste your time. You start protecting your energy, your focus, your peace. Just you got work to do. You got something inside you that the world needs, and you're not willing to compromise it for anything or anyone. Purpose gives you vision. You stop reacting to life and you start designing it. You stop chasing applause and start chasing impact. You don't care who's watching. You care who's healing, who's growing, who's being inspired by your consistency. That's real power. It's not loud. It's not about ego. It's about discipline. It's about showing up when it's hard because your why won't let you quit. The most dangerous person is not the one who's the most talented. It's the one who's driven by purpose, because purpose gives you stamina. It gives you clarity. It gives you the courage to keep speaking, creating, building, loving, serving, even when no one claps, even when it hurts, even when it costs you something. Purpose-driven people don't move for likes. They move for legacy. If you're feeling lost, tired, or defeated, don't just ask for motivation. Ask for clarity. Ask yourself why you're really here. What do you want your life to stand for? Who are you doing this for? What kind of impact do you want to leave? The moment you connect with that, your whole world begins to change, because power doesn't come from perfection. Power comes from purpose. And once you find it, nothing can stop you. Discipline is the difference between dreaming and doing. It's what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You can have all the talent in the world, all the passion, all the potential, but without discipline, it won't matter. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the excitement fades. It's what pushes you out of bed when comfort tries to keep you still. It's what keeps your feet on the ground when your mind is screaming to quit. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel inspired. But if you're disciplined, you'll show up anyway. And that's where transformation happens. We live in a world where people chase instant gratification. They want quick results, fast rewards, easy wins. But the truth is, real growth takes time. It takes work. It takes sacrifice. And discipline is what allows you to stay consistent long enough to see the results. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need perfect conditions. You need consistent effort. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing to start and stay with it, even when it gets hard. Discipline means doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set in has left. It means making choices based on your future, not your feelings. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about preparing yourself. Every time you choose to stay committed, even when it's uncomfortable, you're training your mind and your body to follow your purpose, not your emotion. And over time, that builds confidence, character, and control. You can't live a powerful life without structure. You need to set standards for yourself that are higher than your circumstances. Discipline is deciding in advance how you're going to respond when things get tough. It's saying, I'm going to get this workout in no matter how tired I am. It's saying, I'm going to keep studying even though I want to sleep. It's saying, I'm going to keep working on my craft even if nobody's clapping. That's not punishment. That's power. It's the ability to delay gratification for a greater reward. Most people give up not because they're weak, but because they haven't built the muscle of discipline. They start strong, but quit when it gets uncomfortable. They want the result, but don't want the repetition. But winners, the ones who make it, the ones who rise, aren't always the most talented. They're just the most consistent. They show up on the days when they don't want to. They keep promises to themselves even when nobody is watching. They stay locked in even when life tries to distract them. You have to understand that discipline is freedom. When you're disciplined, you're not controlled by urges or moods. You don't need motivation to move. You move because you made a decision. That kind of mindset is rare, and that's why it's powerful. While others waste time debating whether or not to act, you've already started. While others get caught in emotional roller coasters, you've learned to ride the wave and stay focused. That's not because you're perfect. It's because you're committed. Your goals don't care about your excuses. Your dream don't care about how you feel. They only respond to what you do. So you can sit around waiting for the perfect moment, or you can create your own moment through discipline. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to do something consistently. Small daily actions compound into massive results. One more rep, one more page, one more step. That's how legacies are built. Not through giant leaps, but through relentless consistency. Discipline will cost you something. It might cost you sleep. It might cost you comfort. It might cost you relationships that no longer align with your vision. But it also rewards you with something greater. Self-respect. Every time you show up for yourself, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are serious, that you are focused. That feeling of knowing you did what needed to be done, that's real power. You're not always going to be disciplined. That's part of the journey. But you don't need to feel it to follow through. You just need to stay aligned with your commitment. Remember why you started. Remember why you started. Remember where you're doing it for. Remember where you're going. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about learning how to keep moving forward, one step at a time, no matter how slow, no matter how tired. There are days you'll feel on top of the world, and there are days you'll feel like giving up. Discipline levels the ground. It gives you something to stand on when your emotions are shifting. It becomes the foundation that holds your dreams in place. It's not always exciting. It's not always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Because the life you want is on the other side of consistency, and consistency is born from discipline. So if you're serious about growth, stop waiting for motivation to strike. Build discipline instead. Show up for your goals. Show up for your future. Show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Do the hard things now so you can live with pride and power later. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It's the path to it. And the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you'll become unstoppable. Growth isn't supposed to be easy. That's the part most people don't understand. They think if it's uncomfortable, if it hurts, if it's confusing or messy, then something must be wrong. But the truth is, that's exactly what growth feels like. It stretches you. It breaks down what's weak in you. It pulls things to the surface that you've been trying to bury. Growth forces you to confront your patterns, your fears, your flaws. It's not always pretty. It's not always clear, but it's necessary. And the ones who make it are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who are willing to keep going even when it got hard. Too many people quit when growth starts to hurt. They think pain means stop. They think confusion means they're on the wrong path. But pain isn't a sign to quit. It's a sign that you're alive. It means something is moving. Something is shifting. That tension you feel, that pressure, that discomfort, it's all a part of the process. Think about lifting weights. You don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You get stronger by pushing against resistance. Growth in life works the same way. You're going to be stretched, challenged, tested. And you keep showing up anyway, you're going to rise. There's this false idea that once you get it together, everything will be smooth. That there's this destination called a rival, where life gets easy and you're just cruising. That's not real. Life doesn't give you a pass. Even when you level up, there are new struggles, new responsibilities, new challenges. What changes is not the absence of pressure, but your capacity to carry it. Growth is what expands that capacity. It gives you the ability to handle more, to move through more, to lead, to build, to thrive under pressure. But you only gain that capacity by staying and fight when everything in you wants to retreat. You're not going to feel like you're winning. You always feel like you're winning. There will be days where you feel lost, where you question your worth, where nothing seems to be working. That's part of growth. You can't always see it when you're in the middle of it. Like a seed in the soil, you feel buried, surrounded by darkness, unsure if anything is happening. But under the surface, roots are growing, foundations are forming. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean the process isn't working. You have to trust the process even when you don't feel the progress. And don't confuse movement with growth. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're evolving. Growth is intentional. It's not just about doing more. It's about becoming more. It's about asking hard questions, holding yourself accountable, setting boundaries, healing your wounds, upgrading your mindset. It's about letting go of what's safe and stepping into the unknown. That's why growth hurts, because it requires you to become someone you've never been before. And becoming someone new always costs you something. You'll have to walk away from certain people, from comfort, from outdated versions of yourself. And that's hard. That's long, but it's also necessary. Because you can't grow if you're constantly surrounded by people who are committed to staying the same. You can't rise if you keep tying yourself to environments that pull you back. Growth is going to require separation. It's going to require silence. It's going to require seasons where it's just you and the work and nobody's clapping. But those are the seasons that change you, that mature you, that prepare you for what's next. Growth doesn't come from information. It comes from transformation. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, listen to all the podcasts, But until you apply what you know, until you start making different choices, until you act with courage and consistency, nothing changes. Growth isn't about what you learn. It's about what you do with what you've learned. And often the greatest lessons come from failure, from falling, from doing it wrong and still deciding to try again. Every mistake you make in the pursuit of growth is a lesson that refines you. One of the hardest parts of growth is having to keep showing up when you don't feel qualified, when you're still when you're still unsure. But that's what makes it real. Growth doesn't wait until you're perfect. It meets you in your imperfection. It happens in the middle of the mess, in the chaos. And the more you lean into it, the more you start to realize you're stronger than you thought. You're more capable than you believe. Not because it's easy, but because you didn't give up when it was hard. Stop expecting growth to feel good all the time. Expect it to challenge you. Expect it to break you open. Expect it to test your patience, your endurance, your self-belief, and then expect it to build you into someone you never imagined you could be. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going, keep evolving, keep rising. Growth is not a moment. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. And once you embrace that, nothing can stop you. Because when you understand that pain is part of the process, you stop running from it and start growing through it. Greatness is not inherited. It's created. It's not about where you come from, what your background is, or who believes in you. It's about what you choose to do with what you've been given. It's about how you show up every single day, even when nobody's watching, even when you don't feel ready, even when everything in you wants to stop. You don't have to be born into success to become successful. You don't need a perfect past to build an unstoppable future. You just need a relentless mindset and the willingness to keep moving forward, no matter what. Greatness doesn't start on the stage. It starts in the shadows. It starts when you're putting in work and getting no recognition. When you're making sacrifices that nobody sees, when you're fighting battles that nobody knows about. That's where greatness is born, in the quiet, in the dark, in the lonely places where most people give up. But if you can stay focused, if you can stay hungry in those moments, you'll start building something real. You'll develop the kind of strength that doesn't depend on applause, the kind of identity that isn't shaken by rejection. You'll become the kind of person that doesn't break under pressure, but thrives in it. There are no shortcuts to greatness. You can't microwave discipline. You can't fake consistency. You either show up every day or you don't. You either make the choice to grind or you make the excuse not to. And that choice, that daily decision is what separates the great from the average. It's not about talent. Talent fades. But discipline, effort, consistency, those things compound. Those things build character. And character is what carries you when everything else falls apart. People think greatness is glamorous, but they don't see the early mornings. They don't see the self-doubt. They don't see the tears, the failures, the setbacks, the isolation. Greatness is built on struggle. It's built on the days you wanted to quit but did. On the nights you cried but still got up and worked. On the moments you doubted yourself but kept pushing anyway. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to act in the face of fear. You have to be willing to go further than what feels comfortable. To challenge yourself beyond what's easy. You can't become great by doing what everyone else does. You have to move different. Think different. Sacrifice different. You have to be obsessed with your growth, committed to your craft, and relentless in your pursuit. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's about being willing to fail forward. Every mistake, every misstep, every painful lesson, it's all part of the process. It all sharpens you. It all builds you. Greatness demands responsibility. You can't blame others. You can't wait on a savior. You have to take full ownership of your path. You have to be willing to do the hard things, the things that scare you, the things that stretch you, the things that force you to level up. That's where your next version lives. Not in what's comfortable, but in what's challenging. You got to push past your excuses, past your fear, past your limits. That's where the breakthrough happens. That's where the next level begins. People may not understand your grind. They may not support your journey. That's okay. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself. You just need to commit so deeply to your purpose that nothing can pull you away from it. Your work will speak for you. Your results will speak for you. Your discipline will echo louder than any opinion. You just keep showing up, keep working, keep evolving, because greatness doesn't shout. It shows up in silence and proves itself over time. And if you fail, so what? Failure is part of it. Every great person you admire failed more times than most people ever tried. They weren't afraid to fall. They were afraid not to grow. They didn't stop when they lost, they learned. They didn't quit when it got hard, they doubled down. That's the mindset you need. Not perfection, resilient, not approval, focus, not comfort, commitment, because that's what greatness requires, your whole self. Every ounce of you, even when you're tired, even when you're doubting, even when you feel like nothing is working. Your story isn't finished. Your journey isn't over. You haven't even scratched the surface of what you're capable of. But you'll never find out if you keep playing small, if you keep hiding behind fear. If you keep waiting for a perfect moment, the time is now. The decision is yours. Will you keep settling, or will you step into your greatness? You weren't built to be average. You weren't designed to stay stuck. You were made for more. But a more doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, who push, who rise, who refuse to settle. Greatness lives on the other side of effort. And the only way to get there is to go through everything that tries to stop you. Keep moving, keep going, keep going. You're closer than you think. Your story matters. Every chapter, every scar, every failure, every triumph, every moment you thought about quitting but chose to keep going. Those parts of your life are powerful, not just for you, but for someone else who needs to see that survival is possible. Somebody out there is waiting to hear your voice. Someone needs to know that the pain they're going through is at the end of the road. Someone is looking for proof that healing can happen, that rising is possible. In your story, your real, raw, unpolished story could be the light they've been searching for in their darkness. Most people try to hide their pain. They bury it. They pretend like everything's fine. They put on masks and build walls, but healing doesn't happen in silence. Power doesn't grow in hiding. When you choose to speak your truth, when you take your pain and share with purpose, something incredible happens. You turn your wounds into wisdom. You turn your breakdowns into breakthroughs, and you give someone else the courage to face their own storm. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to be real. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to tell your story. It takes courage to admit you were broken, to say you were lost, to show where you messed up. But in doing that, you invite others to do the same. You create space for connection, healing, growth, and that space is sacred. That space saves lives because people don't connect with perfection. They connect with authenticity. Your story is not just about you. It's about every person who will be impacted by your courage to tell it. That's legacy. That's impact, purpose. You didn't go through what you went through just to survive. You went through it so that you could rise and help others rise too. Your pain has a purpose. Your journey has weight. And when you own it, you speak it, you reclaim the power that pain tried to steal from you. It's easy to believe that what you've been through disqualifies you, that your mistakes, your past, your trauma makes you unworthy. But it's actually the opposite. What you've been through uniquely qualifies you to help others in ways no one else can. No one can tell your story like you can. No one can carry your message like you can. And even if it only touches one life, it's worth it. Because that one life might be on the edge. That one life might be praying for a sign, and your story could be the answer. You don't need a platform to speak your truth. You don't need a mic, a stage, or 1 million followers. You just need honesty and heart. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, a post on social media, a journal you publish, or a speech you give, your story has power. And the more you tell it, the more you realize that what once made you feel ashamed is the very thing that can set others free. Your healing journey becomes a blueprint for others. Your strength becomes contagious. Sharing your story isn't just for them, it's for you too. Every time you speak your truth, you heal a little more. You let go of the shame. You reclaim your voice. You step into who you really are, not who pain tried to convince you to be. And that transformation, that becoming is what changes lives. You become a mirror that reflects possibility, a reminder that it's okay to hurt and still move forward, that it's okay to fall and still rise, that it's okay to be real and still be powerful. There are people who are still trapped in the pain you've already walked through. They're still battling the battles you've already won. They're still carrying the weight you've learned how to put down. And while you can't save them, you can shine a light. You can show them it's possible. You can speak hope into places where silence used to live. And sometimes that's all someone needs. A reason to believe that better days are real. A reason to keep fighting. A reason to try